Beneath the spotlight's glow, Britain's brightest stars harbored secrets that could shatter their legacies. We see them on our screens, hear them on the radio, and celebrate their triumphs. They become woven into the fabric of our lives, icons of British culture. But what if the dazzling smiles and confident personas hid a darker reality? What if the stories we thought we knew were only half-truths? There's a detail in the lives of these celebrated figures that you've likely overlooked, a hidden layer to their public image. Fame is a powerful lens, often magnifying talent while obscuring struggle. For many British stars, the journey to the top was paved with more than just hard work. It involved navigating personal demons, societal pressures, and sometimes, deliberate deception. This isn't about minor indiscretions, but profound secrets that, if revealed, could have drastically altered public perception. Consider the immense pressure to maintain a perfect image. In an era before constant social media scrutiny, the curated persona was paramount. But what happens when that carefully constructed facade begins to crumble? Did these individuals actively work to conceal their pasts, or were they simply victims of circumstance and the unforgiving nature of celebrity? Some faced significant personal battles, from addiction to mental health crises, often in a time when such issues were heavily stigmatized. The public often demands perfection, unaware of the immense personal cost of maintaining such an illusion. How did they cope with the duality of their lives, the public adoration versus private turmoil? Others were entangled in complex personal relationships or events that, in hindsight, cast a different light on their public careers. Were these moments isolated incidents, or part of a recurring pattern of behavior? The entertainment industry, in particular, has always been a breeding ground for intrigue, where personal lives can become as dramatic as the roles played. Uncovering these hidden histories doesn't diminish their achievements, but rather humanizes them. It reminds us that behind every icon is a person, with flaws, fears, and a past that shapes them. The stories we'll explore today are a testament to resilience, the complexities of fame, and the enduring power of secrets. The first layer is context. Every documentary story begins before the moment people remember. There is a setting, a chain of decisions, and a public reaction that shapes how the event is understood. In the case of British celebrities' hidden pasts, the important thing is not only what happened, but why the surrounding details made people pay attention. That is where the story begins to move from a simple summary into something more useful. It asks us to look at timing, location, pressure, and the way one moment can represent a much larger pattern. The second layer is what people often misunderstand. A single image or short clip can feel complete, but it usually leaves out the forces around it. Viewers see the result, not the build-up. They see the most dramatic frame, not the quiet details that made it possible. That gap matters because it changes the meaning of the story. When we examine British celebrities' hidden pasts carefully, we are not just asking what is visible. We are asking what is missing from the first impression. Then comes the turning point. This is where the story stops being only about one scene and starts pointing to a bigger question. Why did this particular moment stand out? Why did people share it, debate it, or return to it later? The answer is usually not one simple fact. It is a combination of emotion, uncertainty, and recognition. People respond when a story feels specific, but also familiar enough to connect to something they already care about. Another important detail is the human tendency to look for a clean conclusion. We want a final answer, a clear lesson, and a single explanation that ties every loose end together. But strong documentary stories often resist that. They leave us with evidence, competing interpretations, and a reminder that public understanding is always incomplete. That does not make the story weaker. It makes it more honest. So what value can we take from British celebrities' hidden pasts? The value is not just the event itself. It is the pattern around it. It shows how quickly attention forms, how easily context disappears, and how important it is to ask better questions before accepting the easiest version of a story. That is why stories like this continue to matter after the first wave of attention fades. In the end, British celebrities' hidden pasts remains worth examining because it sits between fact and interpretation. We can see enough to understand why it matters, but not always enough to close the case completely. And that open space is where documentary storytelling becomes powerful. It does not tell us what to think. It gives us a clearer way to look. The truth, as they say, will always find a way to the surface. These stories serve as a powerful reminder that the lives of public figures are rarely as simple as they appear. If you're fascinated by the untold stories behind the headlines and want more deep dives into the hidden histories of icons, be sure to subscribe for regular breakdowns like this.